The year was 2025, a year that would mark a turning point in modern history. The whole world had its eyes on the Arctic Circle. Tensions were rising, and the region was becoming a global focal point. A new Cold War was brewing. This time, it wasn't just an ideological struggle, but a competition for resources and strategic routes. But this time, the battlefield was a sheet of ice, an inhospitable and treacherous terrain that hid untold riches. At the heart of this confrontation was Greenland, a gigantic island that held the key to Arctic dominance. Its strategic position made it a coveted target. Its vast resources and strategic location had made it a pawn in a global power struggle. Oil, gas, minerals, all within reach of whoever could control them. Former President Trump's surprising proposal to buy Greenland in 2019 sent shockwaves through the international community. It was a bold and controversial move. Many dismissed it as another one of Trump's crazy ideas. However, the proposal revealed the true intentions of the United States. But the proposal exposed a dangerous truth: the United States' willingness to assert its dominance, even at the expense of its allies. Arctic geopolitics were becoming increasingly complex. Fast forward to today, the situation has worsened. Climate change has accelerated the melting of the ice. The Arctic ice is melting. What was once inaccessible is now within reach. New shipping routes are opening up. These routes could change global trade, and the Arctic's untapped resources, oil, gas, minerals, are becoming increasingly accessible. The race for these resources is intensifying. The Arctic is up for grabs. The region has become a chessboard where every move is crucial, and everyone wants a piece of the pie. Nations are fiercely competing for their share. It's not just about resources, it's about influence and control. It's about global power. Control of the Arctic could redefine the global balance of power. Control of the Arctic means control of new trade routes, routes that could shorten distances and reduce costs. It means control of vital resources, resources that are essential for the world's energy future. And it means projecting military might at the top of the world. The military presence in the Arctic is a show of force. The Arctic is the new geopolitical chessboard. Every move is calculated and strategic. And what's at stake couldn't be greater. The future of the Arctic will determine the future of the world. Greenland, a land of ice and snow, vast expanses of white, home to majestic glaciers and the iconic polar bear, symbol of the Arctic. But beneath its pristine beauty lies a treasure trove of resources: oil, gas, rare earth minerals, enough to feed the world's hunger for energy and technology for decades to come. But Greenland's importance goes far beyond its natural resources. Situated between North America and Europe, Greenland is a crucial geographical hub. Whoever controls Greenland will control the Arctic sea routes. They will control access to the North Atlantic, and they will control a strategic point that overlooks both Russia and North America. That's why Greenland has become a focus of international interest. China sees Greenland as a crucial link in its polar Silk Road. Russia considers it a springboard to reaffirm its dominance of the Arctic. And the United States, with its long history of military presence in Greenland, considers the island essential to its national security. Greenland is caught in the middle of all this. A largely autonomous territory of Denmark, it is facing its newfound strategic importance. The decisions Greenland makes in the coming years will have profound consequences, not just for the Arctic, but for the whole world. Donald Trump's 2019 offer to buy Greenland caused astonishment in Europe. The proposal, which seemed straight out of a fictional novel, left many European leaders bewildered and disconcerted. The leaders were caught off guard. They were furious. They were worried. The idea of selling a significant part of their territory to another country was unheard of and alarming. The offer, widely seen as a clumsy attempt to assert U.S. dominance, revealed a blatant disregard for international diplomacy. Many saw this as a sign of the Trump administration's arrogance. It also exposed deep cracks in the transatlantic alliance. Trust, already weakened by other disagreements, was further eroded. France, a key NATO member with its own interests in the Arctic, condemned the move as absurd. President Emmanuel Macron was particularly vocal in his rejection. Germany, already wary of U.S. unilateralism, expressed serious concern about the potential consequences for Arctic stability. Angela Merkel stressed the importance of international cooperation in the region. The message was clear. Europe would not stand idly by while the United States elbowed its way through the Arctic. European unity became more evident in their joint response. The Greenland episode marked a turning point in transatlantic relations. It was a reminder of the underlying tensions and the need for deeper dialogue. It highlighted the growing mistrust between the United States and its European allies. Meetings became tenser and smiles more forced. It also underscored the need for a more united European approach to the Arctic, one that could counter US and Russian ambitions. European strategy began to take shape with greater urgency. Trump may be gone. His administration left an indelible mark on international politics. But the damage is done. The scars of his policies are still visible. The transatlantic alliance, already strained by years of disagreements over trade, defense, and global leadership, is hanging by a thread. Mutual trust is more fragile than ever. The Arctic, once a symbol of international cooperation, is at risk of becoming a new arena for competition between great powers. The region has become a geopolitical chessboard. NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, has been the cornerstone of Western security for decades. Since its founding, it has played a crucial role in collective defense and global stability. Formed after World War II, its mission was clear: to deter Soviet aggression and protect its members from any attack. NATO became a bulwark against communist expansion during the Cold War. But the world has changed. Geopolitical dynamics and global threats have evolved in unpredictable ways. The Soviet Union is gone. The fall of the Berlin Wall and the dissolution of the Soviet Union marked the end of an era, and new threats have emerged. Terrorism, cyber attacks, and hybrid warfare are just some of the modern concerns. The Arctic, with its growing strategic importance, has become a key concern for NATO. Melting ice and competition for natural resources have increased tensions in the region. But the alliance is divided. Political and strategic differences between members have created internal fissures. The United States, driven by its own national interests, seems willing to act unilaterally. This stance has created tensions with other members of the alliance. European members, fearful of provoking Russia, are advocating a more cautious approach. They prefer diplomacy and containment to direct confrontation. This division within NATO is dangerous. It threatens to weaken the cohesion and effectiveness of the alliance. It undermines the credibility of the alliance. The perception of a fragmented NATO can erode the confidence of its members and allies. It emboldens adversaries like Russia and China. These countries may see the division as an opportunity to expand their influence, and it raises serious doubts about NATO's ability to respond effectively to future crises. A lack of unity can compromise a rapid and coordinated response. The consequences of a weakened or fractured NATO are far-reaching. They could upset the global balance of power and destabilize entire regions. It could lead to a more unstable and unpredictable world, where power vacuums are filled by rogue actors. The proliferation of local conflicts could increase. It could also embolden Russia to assert itself more aggressively in the near abroad, potentially triggering a new conflict in Europe. History has shown that unchecked aggression can have disastrous consequences. The future of NATO is uncertain. The alliance faces unprecedented challenges that require a unified and decisive response. But one thing is clear: the alliance must adapt to the changing geopolitical landscape. Innovation and cooperation will be key to its survival. It must find a way to build bridges between its members. Internal diplomacy is as crucial as external diplomacy, and it must present a united front in the face of growing global challenges. Only through unity and cooperation can NATO maintain its relevance and effectiveness. Failure to do so could have catastrophic consequences for the West and the world. Global stability depends on a strong and cohesive NATO.